hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Welcome to Let's Talk Hormones with Carolyn Zallmeyer. Take some time with me this evening to learn how to age healthier and live happier. Today we'll be discussing how hormones can affect all aspects of your health and well-being. I've been specializing in women's health and hormones for over 28 years and focusing in on bioidentical hormone therapy for both men and women for the past several years. We talk hormones, we don't talk sex, we talk health, aging, wellness, and relationships, and well, maybe a little bit of sex. So let's get this party started. Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Hormones with me, Carolyn Zallmeyer, bioidentical hormone expert. We're live streaming on Facebook on the Low TE Florida page, live on 95.3 FM and 1470 AM here in South Florida, and we're also on the iHeartMedia app found under WNN 1470. During the next 30 minutes, if you have any questions for me or my guests, please, you can call in to 1-888-565-1470. We'd be happy to answer any questions that you come up with. Or you can just simply send in your questions through Facebook if you happen to be watching on our Facebook Live. I'm Carolyn Zallmeyer, a bioidentical hormone expert. I've been prescribing hormones here in South Florida for over 28 years. I currently own and operate my own practice, Low TE Florida, which is located across from Holy Cross Hospital on Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale. I'm affiliated with BioTeam Medical out of Texas, and I've studied under Dr. Gary Donovitz, the author of Age Healthier, Live Happier, a nice book that explains what we do with the BioTeam Medical pelleting system. If you'd like one, you can always go to our website, lowteflorida.com, and request one, and we'd be happy to mail one out for you. He's the CEO and founder of BioTeam Medical and really has come up with a great system for us to help getting you to feel your best. With the BioTeam method, we utilize pellet therapy to optimize one's hormones, leading to better energy, better mood, better sex drive, better sexual satisfaction, better sleep, joint pain relief, and a whole lot more different good feelings. I'm currently the #1 provider for BioTeam in Florida and #2 in the nation. I'm so happy to have with me tonight the owners of Emerald Hills Pharmacy in Hollywood, Florida, Yvette Bowers, and the head pharmacist, Tony Ortiz. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Welcome. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
We'll be learning more about the differences between compounding pharmacies and the traditional pharmacies like the CVS's and the Walgreens that we're used to. So that'll be fun. Dr. Donovitz from BioTeam Medical recommends that we prescribe compounded progesterone along with our pellet system. And so that's how I really got to know Yvette and Tony. So let me just take a minute to share with you why it is important to use bioidentical hormones instead of the synthetic hormones. And this is what has led me to the topic tonight, is that we always have to oppose estrogen if we give that with progesterone and not a progestin, which is the scary, evil synthetic one. So one thing that has caused confusions for many of us, patients and providers as well, is that some providers are still prescribing progestins, which are the synthetic version of the progesterone. Progesterone itself is bioidentical. The chemical molecule is exactly the same as what we produce in our bodies, where the progestin is not. It's not molecularly the same. So even though they sound similar, they're very, very different, and they react very differently in the body. Progestins, such as Provera, there's 3 different types of progestins, but Provera is the one that we hear about a lot because it was prescribed with Premarin back in the day. It's been shown to show an increased risk of deep vein thrombosis, which is a blood clot, stroke, heart attack, breast cancer, and even an increased risk of Alzheimer's by 81%. So that's not what we want. We want the progesterone, which is bioidentical. I love my progesterone. I take it every night. Not only is it protecting my little uterus that I have no need for at this point, but I guess I need to protect it. It helps me get a nice, delicious sleep because it helps you relax you before you go to bed. So this is why we need to use progesterone. It's preferable to have a compounded progesterone. Dr. Donovitz encourages us as providers to use the compounded progesterone, which leads me to my guests. So let's get to know our guests a little bit better. Yvette, Tony, please share us your journey to Emerald Hills Pharmacy, which is located in Hollywood, right?
That's right. I am a pharmacist. I graduated in 2001. I went to school.
Did you go to Nova?
I did.
Yeah,
I went to
okay.
Nova Southeastern University. I started as an undergraduate at Barry University and graduated in '01. I started working for a corporation pharmacy and stayed there for about 17 years. And
But wait a minute, you only look like you're 17 years old. How can that be?
well, thank
If
you.
you're only listening and not tuning in, you may want to replay this. She's absolutely stunning.
Thank you. No, actually, I have been a pharmacist that long, and I found working that it was just person after person after person after person, never really getting the time to know anybody, never really getting the time to actually talk to these people and counsel them like we were really taught in school. And I kind of am envious of you because you actually get to talk to your patients, look at them, treat them, and in corporate pharmacy, that's not really an option that we have anymore. And so Tony and I decided that we would try to change that and get into a pharmacy that was a little bit less corporate and be able to actually talk to our patients, counsel them with time, and we see the benefits of that because we have a lot of customers that come back.
I see that too from the patients that I've referred to you. They
Yes.
they are so thrilled with not only your knowledge, but your kindness and the service that you give. And I hear it time and time again, even from my front office lady, Monica. She's like, oh my gosh, you delivered it to my house. And I'm like,
Yeah, we really
So-
do try to go that extra mile.
Yeah, I hear that time and time again. So that just encourages me to keep prescribing to Emerald Hills Pharmacy in Hollywood.
Thank
So
you.
that's great. So when did you start with Emerald Hills?
Well, we've been there about a year or almost 2 years now, and it has grown tremendously, of course, with your help as well. But we have you can really tell that the time that you give to these people means so much. I kind of wonder to myself, why would anybody go to one of these other pharmacies where you're standing in line and you're being treated like a number and you don't have time to really talk to anybody, especially the pharmacist. And really it's because they don't know about us.
Yeah.
They don't know
Yeah.
about the smaller people. It's not just
Absolutely.
us. It's the little guys, that actually have the time to give you.
That's important, especially, there's so many scary things with prescription medications. We keep seeing all the different potential side effects and all that. And to have somebody to talk to really kind of put it into real life, is this really a possibility? Do you see that with your patients? That type of thing. So I can see that how that would give great comfort to have a good relationship with your pharmacist that you can ask the questions. So that's really great that you put that out there. Just for everybody, can you just give me a brief description of why is a compounding pharmacy different than your Walgreens? I know the personal thing, we talked about that, but the actual preparation of the medications.
Oh, yeah. So besides, we do have a front-end pharmacy where we have the OTC products, we have traditional
That's over the
medication as
counter.
well,
Okay.
right?
Uh-huh.
And yes, sorry. And then we also have our lab, which we actually make medications back there, compound them. And it's such a fun process. It's very scientific, and it's kind of like baking a cake. It's interesting. You get a formula, you go by that formula, you do exactly what you're supposed to, but it's basically medication. It's not like we're pulling stuff from, I think what people think with compounding is that, oh, well, what kind of medications are you using? The active ingredients are actual active ingredients that are FDA approved. We don't use anything that is outside of the federal guidelines. And we have a recipe that we actually go by, and then the doctor will prescribe whatever they feel, like you will prescribe what you feel your patient needs.
Right.
And based on that need, we do whatever it takes.
And you're basically taking the active ingredient of what we're prescribing, like say
Exactly.
200 milligrams of progesterone, and then you're putting it in the vehicle, if you want to describe it that way, for the patient to take it in.
Right.
Whether it's a sublingual troche, soon to be rapid dissolved tablets. You know, for some others, we don't use creams because we don't feel it gives us enough protection for the uterus.
Right.
But some providers do. And then also for people that use the compounded creams and stuff like that. So your bases are basically like a gel, a cream,
Creams,
or
ointments.
what type of base is that for the troches? Is that like a waxy or what?
Yeah, it looks waxy, but it dissolves
Yeah.
very easily
Yeah.
in the mouth.
And you can do
it-
different flavors, right?
Exactly. You could do strawberry or mango or whatever. your
Right,
preference
right.
is.
Dr. Donovitz is big on the rapid dissolve tablet for the progesterone
Yeah.
because you can prescribe that twice a day instead of just at night, and it doesn't give you the sleepy feel. But I love my sleepy feel with progesterone.
Hey,
so
I'm on it
there's
too.
different for everybody
it.
for the different things, you know. So we can and that's the beautiful part of it is we can make it specific for what the patient is asking, you know.
Yes,
Because
right.
today I had one that says that she feels groggy all day. Well, we know that our progesterone that we get from traditional pharmacies lasts for 12 hours. If we take it at 6 p.m., it wears off by 6 a.m. But some people take it, at 11 o'clock at night, and then they're groggy 11 o'clock in the
Right.
morning all the way through. So there's different ways of doing it. So that's really nice that we can tailor it that way. Now, is it an actual like clean room, a sterile room where you do your
It's-
baking?
It's we don't have a sterile facility because we don't do sterile products.
Right.
But it is a lab. It has to be under the guidelines of the state's laws and rules, and so it is not sterile. But it is. We do wear the gowns with the face mask
Very
and the
clean.
goggles, hairnet, whole thing, so that there's no contamination. But it's not sterile, but it looks sterile.
Yes, yeah, very clean, very
Yes.
clean. We like that. That's super. What else do you have at your pharmacy? Are you like a traditional pharmacy where you may have like greeting cards and gift
do.
items and maybe some over the counter, Pepto-Bismol and that type of stuff?
We do. We have all of the over the counter items you can think of. The Advils, ibuprofens, all that. And we also have a lot of little gift items. The pharmacy is a little boutique pharmacy, and the fun part about it is that when you walk in, you kind of are transported back to the old days of what you would think
Right.
an old time pharmacy would look like, and that's really
that's
what we
nice. And then you give the kindness and the warm welcome, so that's
Right,
fabulous.
Exactly. And we have somebody out front all the time to greet the person that walks in.
Super,
And,
super.
yeah.
Now you're regulated. I understand there's the 503A and 503B pharmacies. Which
Right.
category do you fall under?
We are a 503
B.
B. He's a technical one.
Okay.
We're actually a 503A. The difference between the two is a 503A can pretty much prescribe to just patients like yourself. A 503B is able to do clinics and small medical practices,
Right.
things like that.
Okay.
We do a lot of like we said, your traditional medication. We also do and pet meds. So we have a lot of veterinarians. When we're back there, we can make some little dog treats, and we put a little beef flavor to it. Our staff is I'm really proud of our staff. They're just so creative. They come up with a lot of great stuff for animals and for children who are allergic to gluten or dyes. We
Oh,
can
wow.
kind of change that medication up a little bit, make it into a liquid, put some cherry flavor in there, and make it into a lollipop.
Wow.
So it's really great for changing the texture of whatever the medication is. If you're an elderly person, we can, and you don't like to take pills, we can make that into a liquid or a gel or something else that might be better suited.
What a
for
great service. What a great service. Yes. We were talking earlier. I have a Labrador puppy that is having seizures. And so we're going through that we may end up getting some medications through them at Hollywood. At Emerald Hills Pharmacy in Hollywood to get our little Jack under control. Well, that's interesting. What's one of your favorite things to mix up in your kitchen?
Well, Probably we do a lot of dermatology face creams, and so that we get such success from that. I mean,
Right.
the hormone replacement is like our foundation, but the creams are the fun things, you know,
Yeah.
because you can slather them on your face, and
Test
then
drive
you
'em.
get the person that comes back and goes, "Oh my gosh, my dark spots are gone on my
Yeah.
face." And so, living in Florida, South Florida, it's that's a big problem for people.
Sure.
So that's not only fun to make because you're mixing and you're adding all these little ingredients in there and
Yeah.
putting it in like the unguator, which kind of mixes everything up and
Is an unduator like a mixer?
yes,
Like
it's
okay.
kind of like
blender.
it's a
blender,
blender.
yeah.
You just put the stuff in there and it just mixes it really, really well.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Very good. That's all very exciting. You must have fun back there.
Yeah, we do.
Do you
It
do
is
anything,
actually
any
fun.
special mixtures for hair, like for hair loss, like the minoxidil with the Latisse or
Yeah,
anything like that?
Actually, we have done. We don't do a lot of that, but we have done. We've done a lot of. I wouldn't say a lot, but some experimental stuff that doctors have thought. Hey, what do you think
Right.
about compounding this up?
Yeah.
And let's see how it goes. And we've had really great success with some people.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have had some hair solutions.
If
made.
you're a doctor out there and you have some ideas or you have something that you want to create, you should at least take the opportunity to call our staff. Lauren works as our lab director, and Tom is our other pharmacist in the pharmacy. And both of them are very, very creative. They're extremely bright, and they've come up with some great solutions. Lauren actually came up with a nasal spray instead of another way or one way of administering.
We do. Well, he's talking about we do the B12. Instead of doing
Yes.
shots or taking it orally, you can do the nasal spray.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, right. It's a seller. People love it.
Okay, very good. Let's see. I think we wanted to break for a commercial. Is that right? Yep. Okay. We're going to break for a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back, and we'll get more to Emerald Hills Compounding Pharmacy in Hollywood. Many men and women are feeling tired, moody, having difficulty sleeping, gaining weight, and have no desire for intimacy or exercise. These symptoms can be caused by reduced levels of hormones that occur naturally as we age. You'll be happy to learn there's an exciting, safe, and natural solution available at Low TE Florida. If you'd like to learn more about how Low TE Florida can safely balance hormones for both men and women, call today or visit our website at lowteflorida.com. You've been listening to Let's Talk Hormones with Carolyn Zallmeyer. I hope I've made you feel comfortable enough to call in with your questions. The phone number is 888-565-1470. Now, let's get back to the show.
So this was fun.
Yeah,
It's
okay,
almost
we're
already-
back on. Here we are. We got
was
Yvette
quick.
and Tony from Emerald Hills Pharmacy in Hollywood, Florida. And Tony, you're the owner of the pharmacy, right?
Yes, actually, Yvette and I both share ownership, but she's actually the glue that holds us together. She's the pharmacist. She's the lead pharmacist there at the pharmacy. We have another pharmacist, Tom. He's also a great compounder and has a lot of experience. And
I spoke with him yesterday.
Oh, yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, he's
super.
very
Now,
knowledgeable.
did you purchase Emerald Hills Pharmacy? Has been around for a while, right?
it has. It's been around for about 8 years. We purchased it about, not quite 2 years ago.
Okay.
A little bit less than 2 years ago. And I work on, I'm kind of the hunter, so I kind of go out trying to grow the business, and Yvette kind of is the gardener. She stays there and fertilizes the seed there.
Make stuff happen. That's
I like
fabulous.
that.
Fabulous, yes. My understanding, and you would know this from working in the commercial pharmacies, is that Big Pharma can vary the actual strength of the medication. So if I wrote a prescription for 100 milligrams of, say, progesterone, the actual capsule could have can have a 30% swing, where it could be 70 milligrams or even up to 130.
Right. that's
Where I
correct.
feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but with the compounding, you're hitting it closer to the mark.
Absolutely. We have a 3%
That's beautiful.
and that's our margin. I believe we have a 8% ability to, but we stick with 3. We don't want to veer away from that, and we find that our patients are happy. They're coming back and they're saying,
Sure.
"Hey, this stuff works."
Well, it makes it easier for the provider that I know that if I'm prescribing 200 milligrams, that's what the patient's getting.
Yes.
Maybe 197 or 203, but it's a big, it's such a tighter, narrower margin than what we get
Right.
with big pharma. Because even with progesterone for women with uteruses, if it varies that much, that can be enough to trigger breakthrough bleeding or spotting for a
Yes.
postmenopausal woman, and that's the last thing she wants.
Right.
So for us to be able to tighten it up like that, that's really fabulous. So
Yeah.
I really think that's a good thing. So we're going to be doing more and more compounding in the future. That's for sure.
Thank you.
So why do you think there's so much controversy over compounding pharmacies? Do you hear controversy? Is it just competition, or what do you think?
I think that people don't understand it very well, and so there's Suzanne Summers did a really good job of really promoting it because
Yeah.
of her background. But I think it's mostly a misunderstanding of what we do. I think people may think, like I mentioned earlier, that we're just
Throwing things
just
together.
throwing things, yeah. And,
So,
and
like,
saying,
if I
"Oh,
were
here, I hope it
to bake a
works."
pie in my kitchen, it would turn out a little different than if you baked it in yours. But with your regulation and your recipe and all that, you're actually towing the line.
Right.
Where if I was baking it, I'm out of white sugar, I'll throw some brown sugar in.
Right.
Well, you don't do that. No, you go with the recipe.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no variation. The only variation that we would ever have is somebody wanted a different flavor of a troche or something.
Yeah.
But really, other than that, as far as active ingredients, there's no variation whatsoever.
What's the most favorite flavor?
Probably strawberry.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's just
Somebody
like a-
was telling me buttercream was their favorite for a
I like
troche,
that.
and so I'm thinking of icing, and so that sounds good to me. Very good.
We've had other people say, "I love your coffee flavor," and I'm like, "Wow, really?"
Doesn't work for you.
No.
So some of the benefits of compounding would be, number one, you're getting the exact dose that we're requesting as a provider. They're getting the personalized attention from you, which I think is amazing. And you deliver too.
Absolutely, yeah. We want our patients to have their medication.
That's fabulous. Do you have like a certain region that you deliver to, or do you mail to patients?
We
or?
do both. If they are just outside of our delivery zone, which we personally deliver, then we will FedEx or USPS
Super.
deliver.
That's great. And you do provide to, say, providers. Like if I wanted to get a 30 milliliter bottle of vitamin B12 for injections in my office, I could order it through you.
Actually, no.
No?
Because
Okay.
we're a 503A.
We're an A.
We're 503A. By law, we're actually not allowed to do
Okay.
that. It has to be patient specific. So
Gotcha. So I need to go to a 503B for that, which is what I
Exactly.
do. Yeah. So I
Yes.
just didn't know, well, maybe I could get everything done in one house.
That would be
That's
nice. Although
great.
we have talked about switching over to 503B because it does give us both.
Flexibility.
Right, right. So maybe down the road. So who regulates your pharmacy? Is it
It's state and federal.
okay?
We have the FDA that can come in at any time, but we mostly have state inspectors come in. We get inspected just like any other pharmacy on a yearly to 2-year basis, and they just make sure we're running correctly, that the place is clean, which it always is, and that we're doing things the right way.
And so they basically hold you to the same standards as if you were working for a big pharmacy.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
In
so-
fact, maybe a little bit more
Tighter.
because they know that, hey, these are, smaller, not corporate owned
Right.
pharmacies. And so they kind of look a little bit closer to make
Gotcha.
sure.
Gotcha. What else can you tell me about your veterinarian meds? That veterinary meds, that's the first I heard of it tonight, so I'm excited about
We
that.
do a lot of vet, and that's a growing segment for us. We do everything like how I mentioned with you before, from seizure medications to potassium for dogs, a lot of cardio meds, like blood pressure medications. You'd be amazed. We do.
Well, probably for diabetic cats and things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
There's a
great.
ton. We do pain medications for vets. It's a really, really big population
Yeah,
of
it's
animals.
probably getting bigger and bigger.
We get animals in our pharmacy all day long.
Yeah.
Oh, they come in.
Oh,
They come
yeah.
in with their owners.
Yes.
These big
It's
Great
fun.
Danes that are
Great
just
Danes.
Maybe I
so
should bring
tall.
Jack
Yeah,
there.
for sure. He's more than
No.
welcome.
110 pounds of love. It'll knock everything off your shelves. Oh, righty. Well, this is so enlightening. It's so good to get to know you guys better and know who I'm dealing with, when I call to do the prescriptions, and know that my patients are getting the best care, because we've been working with you for over a year now, and I've only heard positive things from my patients, and that's big for me,
good.
because I was using another compounding pharmacy that ended up being closed down for things that were not proper. And so it's nice that we have people we can trust, to help our patients.
Oh, thank you.
So, but if we get any more, if you have any questions for our guests or for ourselves about bioidentical hormones or any type of things like that, we would love to hear from you guys. So thanks for all your attention tonight, and I hope this show has helped you understand and become more comfortable with compounding pharmacies and our bioidentical hormone pellet therapy. If you'd like to know more, please feel free to call my office at LowTE Florida, 954-791-4498, or go to lowteflorida.com. Oh, for this month of January, we have patient seminars in our office on Tuesday nights at 6:30. If you'd like to learn more about bioidentical hormones, I invite you to come. An RSVP is required, so just give the office a call, 6:30 on Tuesday nights. And thank you for joining us today. I hope to see you all at LowTE Florida. And remember to listen in next Thursday at 7 o'clock for Let's Talk Hormones with me, Carolyn Zallmeyer, nurse practitioner. Hope to see you next week. We'll be talking about nutritional supplements and optimizing your health. Good night. Thank you for listening. It's my mission to help men and women live their best lives, and I hope that today's show gave you just a little motivation to do so. If you'd like to learn more about bioidentical hormones and if they're right for you, please call my office to schedule a consultation. 954